It's over. It happened over on Facebook. I took it to Twitter because that's just what happens. MVP Discs posted on their like main Facebook page this meme. It's the Anakin meme where, who is it? Princess Leia is like. So they basically Anakin's Innova.
Is that Padme?
Padme. Yep. Don't.
Yeah, Padme.
I've watched. It's been a long time since I watched Star Wars.
Clearly not a Star Wars person.
No,
Jeez.
I'm not a Star Wars person. Anyways, you get the meme. So it's Innova saying, we'd like to use your media. And then she's like, you'll give me credit, right? And then it's Innova. And then she says, right. And then MVP says, hey, Innova Discs, this you? Looks like you might owe our guy, Jahani Vino, a tag and should maybe check your DMs. I probably butchered his name. That's not the point of this, though. And then put dash MVP Steve, who is their marketing director. Trevor actually has an interview with him coming out Thursday. So perfect timing on Trevor's part.
Who is the person in the post they're referring to?
So he is the guy that was at the Olympics that got the gold medal and then threw the shot through the Olympic rings.
Okay.
So basically, he posted that.
So did Innova? So that's what the clip is.
Yeah. So here's what I've read through a bunch of different comments trying to figure this all out. And in a disc golf debate group, someone explained. They said they heard this straight from MVP Steve, but I didn't hear it straight from him. So this is like me hearing it through someone who says they heard it through him, but it makes perfect sense. So basically,
classic TMZ.
Yeah, you know me. But basically, what they said the situation is essentially Innova did reach out to him and said, "Hey, do you mind if we repost this?" He responded and said, "No problem at all. Just tag me and tag MVP in it." And then they posted it and didn't tag him or MVP, but put it like a comment. He's
sponsored by MVP.
Yeah. So then Innova put a comment, but it was just like the video emoji and then his name. They didn't tag him in it. And then apparently since then, MVP has been privately behind the scenes trying to DM Innova, be like, hey, you said you would tag us in it, you didn't, no response. And he has been privately DMing them, same thing, no response. So now they're both being ghosted, and that's why MVP took it public on Facebook. So that's the explanation that happened over on Facebook. Realistically, whether or not that's the exact nitty-gritty of what happened, I'm not 100% sure because I didn't hear that straight from the person. But regardless, absolutely savage from MVP to post that on their actual Facebook page, not just like, this guy posted on his personal page and whatever. Like, this is like just straight up from one company coming after another company. And I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of love it. I kind of dig it. I'm here for that stuff. That's, disc golf has always been like buddy, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. And like, it's okay to have a little hard-nosed, smash-mouth social media every once in a while. Why not?
Yeah, well, I also don't think it's going to be buddy, too, with the money situation. Like, obviously, money changes everything.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's nuts because that was something that used to happen all the time back in the day when social media was very, very new.
Yeah.
It still happens a little bit now with a lot of these, like, either meme pages or some of these are like not House of Highlights, but pages like that are basically, they basically just go out and find clips and then they blast it out themselves.
Yeah.
It's nuts when like you actually go through the process of asking someone if you can use it, and then the comment section like tag is the clear thing of like, because I've done this before too in posts, so it's not like I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I've done it too, where it's like you want to say like, oh no, you got tagged, I tagged you, but you don't want it to be thrown in the actual caption.
Yeah,
it's a slimy move.
Oh, they didn't even tag him. They just put his name.
I think. Oh, okay. Well, that's even worse. I think the big story here, though, is like you said, is not so much not so much Innova, it's more like the fact that MVP publicly has called them out.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you on that. I think I don't mind the buddy situation for certain things, but at a certain point, a little too much kumbaya and everyone sitting around the campfire making s'mores, I'm not too interested in it. So I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I was definitely, when I saw it, well, first off, I saw someone tweet it, And then I was like, that can't be real. Like, surely that's a meme. So then I went over to Facebook and saw it for my own eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's right there. And then I scrolled through like comments, and the only thing I think that was bad about it is the full context wasn't provided. So like some people are getting mad at MVP, calling them crybabies and like back and forth. But that's what happens.
That's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Some people obviously, if you have crazy Innova like fans, like they're not gonna. You can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
I saw something today that was very interesting, talking about, and I don't want to get too much into talking about pros' behavior and all that stuff on tour, but it's in the same notion of people talking about. I think they brought up Eric Oakley and Nico, and he was saying how he had like watched a bunch of coverage, and a lot of the things that people get upset about Nico doing, Eric Oakley was doing, but yet no one really goes after Eric Oakley. And he was basically saying like, why is that? Is it because he's more on social media, or is he known as this friendly guy, or whatever it may be? But I think, you're always going to have some people that they're going to, turn their head, or what is it? Something a blind eye.
Turn a blind eye.
Blind eye. And some people can't do anything wrong. So
yeah,
but I love it, man. I think there needs to be more competition, especially if you're a fan out there. There needs to be more competition in these disc golf companies, because that's what drives price down, and that's what gives better product.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a reason why you can't have a monopoly on certain things, is because it causes the fact that prices go. It's just bad for the customer. It's bad for the consumer. So,
I think that's what
I think these are good things.
No, absolutely. Up to this point, back to your like Nico point, I think Nico has somewhat gotten a bad rep just because his reputation, and like in a world where disc golf up to this point has been so buddy and picture perfect and is what it is, Nico was one of the people that didn't care to a certain degree, and just wore his heart on his sleeve to a fault at times. And so people, like, it kind of became the thing that like when you're watching Nico under a microscope, when all these other players you weren't, because even the players are sometimes watching Nico under a microscope. So things that Nico does that every other player on tour does, literally, if Nico does it, then it becomes an issue, or then it gets pushed to the forefront, where when Paul does it, Ricky does it, Eagle does it. For Pete's sake, last year, Nico kicked a mini and everyone blew up and freaked out. And a tournament earlier, Eagle fully ripped a whale sack at his bag, and there was like one funny post made about it, and that was it. And so I think that's kind of Nico's got the bad side of that. But as the sport progresses and goes forward, more and more competition is going to draw like more and more attention, and more attention is going to cause not just Nico to be looked under the microscope, but then the Paul fans are going to be looking at Ricky under the microscope, and the Eagle fans are going to be looking at so-and-so under the microscope. And then it just becomes like, normal sports, where you have people who hate Grayson Allen no matter what, and then you have people like me who are going to defend Grayson Allen even when I look like an idiot just because I'm a Grayson Allen fan. And that's why this immediate thing here with Innova and MVP was so hard for me, is because I, like, deep in my blood, I'm an Innova simp, like through and through. I love Innova, their plastic everything. Mm-hmm. But then recently I've become an MVP, like, follower, gyronaut, whatever you want to call me. So seeing them both butt heads, I'm just kind of sitting on a fence. I don't know where to go. I'm looking both ways. I'm like, yeah, MVP, how dare you? But then I'm like, well, Innova, you really screwed my guys over here. So I'm just kind of in the middle here, being pulled both sides. It's like I'm going through a divorce right now. It's crazy.
I think MVP actually might have something going right now, because there really isn't a disc golf manufacturing company that is really using social media in a creative way, in the sense of like doing something outside the norm. A company that does an incredible job of this is like Wendy's.
Yeah.
If you ever want like a good time, just go to Wendy's Twitter.
Heck yeah.
And they have posts on there all the time that are absolutely hilarious. No one's really doing that right now. And if you look at all of them, they're all pretty much posting the same thing. It's either about their players, or it's about disc coming out.
Yeah.
It's about tournaments. And if MVP finds something of where they want to be a little bit more edgy on social media, yeah, sure, I'm sure it might turn some people off, but it also might get a lot of people talking about you. So
it's like Duolingo.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It's like Duolingo on TikTok. Like
who?
Exactly. Who on earth was Duolingo? But what they started doing was they just made hilarious TikToks that had nothing to do with their app, but also were just like they'd roast people left and right and whatever. And it was just their mascot's this big green owl, and what they are is a language.
Who are you talking about?
Duolingo. They're a language app, but they went viral on TikTok time and time again. They're the Wendy's of TikTok essentially. Because they just they found their niche. They were able to just kind of separate themselves, like what you were saying. And I mean, look what just happened. I just told you about Duolingo. If you want to learn Spanish, go there. We could have people doing that for MVP all over the place.
I'm more of a Rosetta Stone guy, so
not anymore. Hey, go to their TikTok. You'll ditch Rosetta Stone real quick.